Lisa is a 4-star Electro Catalyst unit that you get at the start of the game, and as per usual with most starter characters in video games, she's not that good, meta-wise. And today I'd like to offer my ideas on how Lisa's kit could be altered to give her a place in the meta too. If you enjoy content like this, like to let me know so I can continue making content that you enjoy. Subscribe to help me reach my goal of 500 subscribers. We're almost there, I can taste it. And without further ado, let's begin. So before we try to slide Lisa into the meta, we have to first identify what it is that lands a unit a spot in the meta to begin with. A meta unit will always provide something valuable to the team, usually something that other units don't possess, although this isn't always true, right? Xingqiu, Yelan, Sucrose Kazuha, to name a few examples. When we look at characters like Bennett, the reason Bennett's so good is because he gives your team a crazy attack buff that just boosts everybody's damage, on top of healing the team. Bennett can actually serve as the only healer on your team, and he does a fantastic job at it. Characters like Hu Tao have really high scaling and a burst that does a lot of damage that can act as a nuke when vaporized and whatnot. So, between damage and utility, each meta unit is meta because they bring something to the table that no other unit does. So now that we know what we're going for, let's see what roles are already filled in the Electro roster. We have several damage dealers like Raiden, Yae, Fischl, Keqing, and so on. We have 2 healers in Kuki and Dori. We have a pseudo-shealer in the form of Beidou. We have damage buffing in the form of Sara. We have batterying in the form of Raiden, Fischl, Dori, and there's a lot already going on in the Electro roster. So here's my idea. First, we make her first Ascension passive and increase resistance to interruption from her C2 into her kit naturally and replace her first Ascension passive with this. Each conductive stack increases each party member's energy recharge by 4% of Lisa's energy recharge up to a maximum of 12%. In addition, each stack applied to an enemy will shred their defense by 5%. When an enemy dies, the stack will explode for 100% of Lisa's attack in an AoE, and if it crits, 1 stack will be applied to all targets caught in the AoE. Let me explain. So as far as her energy recharge, I wanted to make Lisa meta, but from a usefulness standpoint. She is a 4-star, so having her hit nukes that rival like Raiden Yae is a little unrealistic. So leaning into damage probably wasn't the way to go, although there is Fischl, but Fischl is Fischl, right? So with that being said, with Lisa being Electro, and Electro being known for being the elements of batterying and energy recharge, and on top of that, she's one of the starter characters you get, I wanted her to be an all-around Electro support that just boost the entire team's energy recharge, kind of like a 4-star Raiden almost, where you can slot her in where you kind of need a universal battery. That's kind of why I wanted to work with increasing the entire team's energy recharge, as opposed to her generating, a certain amount of flat energy or something, because I wanted it to be something that benefits the entire team regardless of elements. But if we leave her to just batterying, well, Fischl batteries very well, so does Raiden, and they both do way more damage. So there wouldn't really be a use for Lisa, and so that's where the defense shred comes in. Her second Ascension passive will reduce enemies' defense by 15% when she uses her burst. And with Lisa canonically having her defense shred by 50%, if you know, you know, who better to serve as a defense shred support? I mean, she should know plenty about it. But her burst doesn't do that much damage, and so that's why I wanted to put the defense shred on her skill as well. That way, you stack up her, conductive stacks. As far as the skill exploding, that's to make her better in AoE situations, which she's pretty much designed for, helping her better maintain the uptime on her energy recharge buffs. On top of this, I feel like there's also an incentive to actually try to stack all 3 conductive stacks on enemies. As it is now, you don't really need to unless you plan on using her skill, the hold version, for some damage, which I've already made an entire video on that. And while the video is outdated, I feel as though the information I've provided at that point in time was pretty accurate to the circumstances she was in. Moving along, you'll want to maintain 3 stacks because that will increase the team's energy recharge while also maintaining a defense shred on your enemies. With her skill having such a low cooldown, it'd be really easy to just swap in, refresh a stack real quick, swap back out, continue doing what you're doing. As for her burst, as you can see, I pretty much left her burst out for 2 reasons. One, I already feel like this passive is a bit of a stretch in and of itself and all that it does. So having her passive also affect her burst kind of felt like overkill. You know what I mean? And 2, I also didn't want to make things too complicated because at the end of the day, she is a starter character. She's supposed to introduce the elements of Electro to, players. And I feel like this kit would live up to Electro's reputation. Not to mention, again, she's a starter character. I wouldn't want to make things too complicated for new players. Stack system is easy enough, All you have to do is maintain 3 stacks and you win. Cool. And her burst already shreds defense, so, we'll just leave it there. But yeah, tell me honestly what you think in the comments below. Have I overinflated numbers? I'm not a game developer, so I don't know exactly what's too strong or what's not strong enough. I did try to use my experience and judgment to throw out some balanced, fair numbers, just enough to make her useful, but not enough to basically have her outshine her stronger, competitors in the meta. We want to give her a spot, not take it from someone else. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up so I can continue making content that you enjoy. Subscribe to help me reach my goal of 500 subscribers. We're almost there. I can taste it. Follow me on all my social media. The link tree will be in the description down below. And I will see you all in the next video.